Hey everybody, a massive welcome wherever you're watching from. We are so honoured today to have the one and only Madison Both, all the way from WA, Australia, with us. Madison, how you doing?
I'm doing so well.
In New
So
Zealand?
glad to be here.
In New Zealand?
Absolutely love it.
How do you find the coffee in New Zealand?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, there
Okay.
is a place called Sublime.
Yep.
It has become
there
my
it
favourite.
is.
Yep.
So good. We it's a great spot in Palmerston.
Great spot.
Shout out to Sublime. Sponsor
Woo,
us.
sponsor. Please do.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. We're so honoured to have you. Madison is a part of Tribes Church and Circuit Riders, and she is here with us at Vision Church. And we just finished up doing an amazing night of evangelism training.
It's powerful.
How did you find it?
I loved it. There was such a hunger in the room.
Yeah.
And the fact that we had a moment together to be trained, but then to go out and see people
Yeah.
saved.
Yeah, it was so amazing.
Oh, nothing like it.
Yep, there it is.
There it is.
It's going to be a good episode.
It's going to be great.
And we kind of met 2 years ago at some random trip that
Yeah.
a whole bunch of
Yeah.
leaders were on. And since then been connecting and had you
Yeah.
over last year with our team, and it was amazing. And we're going to jump and talk about some stuff. But before we do, just a quick way of introduction. Favorite ice cream? What is it?
Definitely salted caramel.
Ah,
100%, hands down.
Big
Nothing
fan
better.
of salted caramel.
Nothing
Thoughts
better.
on French vanilla?
Oh, look.
It's controversial.
Yeah.
Some people
Look,
love it.
a little bit too plain for me.
Okay.
But I appreciate
Yeah.
the plain Janes.
Nice.
It's okay.
What sort of ice cream do they have in Perth?
Oh, so many amazing ones.
Okay.
There's this vegan salted caramel one at this place called Billy Van Ice Creamery.
Yeah.
Hands down, come to Perth. Come hang.
I
get
feel
some
like
ice
when
cream.
someone tells me they're vegan, I know everything about them already.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
I'm
mean?
not vegan, just to
Okay,
let you know.
okay,
But
cool.
this vegan ice cream,
Yeah.
game changer.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate
But we
that.
love vegans too.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, that's good. Favorite ministry memory? I'm sure you've got a lot. You got one
Oh,
recently,
that's
like
so-
in the last 2 years. That
Last 2 years. Okay, last 2 years, a beautiful friend of mine had an issue in her body, and we had a moment where she was at the altar at a gathering, a women's gathering we were doing. And she's standing there, we'd been contending for a while for a healing. And in that moment, she feels the presence of God and she radically gets healed. She then
Wow.
goes to the doctor where she was supposed to get a surgery and she didn't need surgery. And
Praise
the
God.
testimony of just seeing God encounter this incredible, she's a mum, in that moment and heal her, and just the compassion he had for her.
Wow.
Like, I just never get tired of seeing God meet people.
yeah, and that's amazing, and that sets us up for this entire conversation, because I feel like whatever space you and your team step into as part of
Yeah.
Circuit Riders Pacific and Circuit Riders globally,
Yeah.
and then your church, Tribes Church,
Yeah, shout out.
it just seems to be wherever you go, there seems to be breakthrough, seems to be impact. And those are people that are watching and are
Yeah.
aware of your journey, but some might not be. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do,
Yeah.
where you go to church, and what your world has looked like the last sort of 2 to 5 years?
Yeah, a lot. There's a lot of worlds I run, but the short version is Circuit Riders. It's a missions movement from California, and the Circuit Riders, we are like the Circuit Riders of old, the John Wesley, the Francis Asbury,
Wow.
that used to travel on horseback from town to town, city to city, to see the simple gospel go out.
Come
Now, no, I'm not riding a horse. No, I am not traveling on horseback, but I am on planes and cars.
Have you rid a horse before then?
I have.
Okay,
I have.
cool.
But
Not-
that was for
not your
fun,
thing? Okay, cool.
recreation.
All right, cool.
Not for the gospel. These guys, like around the age of 30, some of them
Yeah.
had died because they were that convinced of the gospel. So they travel out all of America and Europe. And we're now like the Circuit Riders of old. But instead of doing that, we travel planes, vans, cars, to specifically young adult spaces and uni spaces to
Wow.
bring the gospel. So in the last 3 years, I have been pioneering a tour to universities and high schools and young adult spaces all across Australia. We actually came to New Zealand the
Yeah.
first year,
Let's go.
and we're seeing a move of God across unis and young adult spaces, people getting saved, healed, delivered. It's just incredible. This real revival that's taking place across the Pacific right now.
Yeah.
So that's one world.
Yeah,
The other world is I have the privilege of being part of Tribes Church
amazing.
in Western Australia, where I'm on the executive. My story is pretty wild. I moved there 4 years ago, not knowing the church at all, not knowing my pastors at all, but on a word of the Lord that I was to go out and help serve the local house and a pioneering movement to see God move in the west of Australia. So been there, planted for 4 years, and
Come on.
we've seen such a move of God in such a short amount of time.
That's huge. And from the 2 years I've known you, I think that's something that's so powerful and unique about yourself is you are about it, immersed fully in the missional movement across the world, but also at the same time have such a strong conviction about the local church. Talk to me about that. Why do you think that's important?
Absolutely. I feel like both coupled together, we're going to see Jesus' return quicker. I'm so passionate about the local church. I've grown up my whole life serving the house, whatever state, whatever city I've lived in, even when I lived in America. And the Bible's very clear. If we're planted in the house, we will flourish. So I've always been super committed to the house. And I'm grateful for leaders that taught me the importance of being planted in hard seasons, in good seasons. Sunday was always there, always serving. But at the same time, specifically the way I feel I'm wired is that God has called me to go out also and not just have the four walls of the church where we're discipling and growing, which is very important, but actually helping people, and myself included, go out to win the lost. The Bible's very clear that we're to go out to all creation, share the good news of Jesus. So I think in those dual hats, they work very well together to see the lost saved, but also to see the revived actually discipled in the house.
Would you say you've seen yourself be a bit of a bridge to those two worlds? Because I think, like, just acknowledging it, sometimes it's felt like those two kind of spaces in the kingdom have clashed a little bit, maybe haven't been on the same page. But I think, like, even just in our friendship and seeing you with other church leaders that I know, when those two things have come together out of honor and respect for each other, and work together, we've seen phenomenal impact. And so, I mean, that's something I'm so grateful for. And we've had conversations about this. And can you maybe just touch on that a little bit before we move on? Like the importance of seeing those two aspects of the kingdom come together really strongly?
Absolutely. I feel those two worlds coming together is the whole context of the Bible. So you see Jesus walked with people, he discipled people, he was in the depth with them in their life. But at the same time, he had 3 years and he trained his disciples to then go out. And so I feel that there's this beautiful tension that's happening where instead of having one world and not the other, or the other and then not the other, there's this amalgamation God's doing to say, no, it's the whole context of the Bible. We need to be planted in the church. We need to grow. We need to be discipled. But at the same time, there is a world waiting to be saved. And we are the disciples now that God is training up and raising up in this generation to go out to see the lost saved. So I feel like it's both. I feel like I have been quite a bit of a bridge, that my goal is to get the church outside the four walls, but then actually get those who are saved and trained to come back into the house to be planted, to grow, so that we can reach more with the gospel.
So good. It's been quoted that we're like in early stages of awakening right now in the West. I think sometimes we can forget the church is so much bigger than just the West as well. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's across all continents. But would you agree with that statement? Then we're in the early stages of awakening. Do you agree, disagree? What are your thoughts on that? What's your read on, like, the tide right now?
100%. Yes. It's been quoted before that we're in a quiet revival, where what is meant by that is that we're seeing that young people specifically, even as I've been touring, we're seeing people coming back. They're searching for, like, what is true, what is real. Obviously, our day and age right now, they are searching for something to hold on to, where there's, like, no absolute truth. Actually, they're searching what is true, what is real. So we're finding, even statistically, people are coming back to Christ. People are actually hungry and searching. And so with that, I'd call it really that quiet revival that's taking place. We've seen thousands baptized. We've seen thousands healed and saved and delivered just recently. And the statistics, not even in my own ministry that we've been doing, but hundreds of ministries across the globe. I don't know if you've been watching even what happened with Asbury not that long ago in America, the university, where they started contending and praying, and a move of God happened and swept in Kentucky, a place that really is very, very little. No one goes to Kentucky outside of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's true.
So God
Shout
is
out to
moving.
Colonel.
Come on, shouting out. So I do believe that we are in a revival. I do believe an awakening of hearts.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what I kind of want to talk about for the next part of our chat. Is in Psalm 85 verse 6, it says, "Will you not revive us again, that your people may rejoice in you?" Verse 7 says, "Show us your unfailing love, Lord, and grant us your salvation. I will listen to what God the Lord says. He promises peace to his people, his faithful servants, but let them not turn to folly." And then verse 9, "Surely his salvation is near to those who fear him, that his glory may dwell in our land. I think sometimes when we talk about revival,
So good.
immediately we assume revival is just like a Pentecostal thing,
Correct,
where
yeah.
it's actually like it's a Bible thing. And
Absolutely.
up until the last 70 years, potentially, like revivals happened across super conservative environments as well. And yeah, I think sometimes that word can be lost in translation. But what do you think, if we're just building on that conversation, what are some of the greatest barriers to revival?
I think a starting point is we live in the West. So obviously there's a lot of convenience. There's a lot of comfort. There's a lot of, we don't need God. Really, if you think about it. We've got great homes. We've got great jobs.
Yeah,
What do we need?
so true.
If you've ever seen the documentary Sheep Among Wolves, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It's this story following different couples that have actually moved to the Middle East, where ISIS has been, where there's been a lot of terror, a lot of persecution for the gospel. And the short story I want to share when it comes to this is there was this couple, they were from America, they were living over in the Middle East, persecuted for their faith, and they ended up coming back to America.
Wow.
There's one moment the husband and the wife are together and the wife is crying and he's like, why are you crying? We've just left such a hard place. She's like, please take me back. And he's like, why would you want to go back? And she says this line is wild. She says, I'd rather be in the Middle East where I'm persecuted for the gospel than in the West where there's a satanic lullaby that's lulling Christians to sleep.
Wild.
So I feel like one of the first barriers that we're even talking about right now is that there is a lulling that the enemy's tried to do across Christians across the West.
Wow.
Comfortable, stay asleep. But actually this revival of hearts is happening where it's like, no, I'm going to awaken myself to the salvation Christ is giving, because on the other side of that, I'm going to be used because there is people waiting to be revived, to come to know Christ. And so something that's stuck with me for so long, that one of the barriers in the West I'm talking about is actually a lulling to sleep and a lukewarmness. But I believe that there's a turning point, there's a tipping point at this time.
What are you seeing? So when you're going across churches and activating them across universities, and you can hold that in contrast to that satanic lullaby, what is like the shift that you're seeing? Like, what does that look like practically from someone? Like, what does a sleeping church or Christian look like versus an awake one?
Very good question. I think what's been happening at the moment is that people are coming back to the first place of the Bible. It talks about first love. So I feel like as people are coming to churches, as they're coming to prayer gatherings, as they're coming to things, God is actually tapping them on the shoulder saying, it's time, awake, wake up. And what's been happening as people have been in the presence of God, God has been meeting them, but telling them that there's more. And so what's been happening is this newfound hunger or this newfound desperation for Christ has been happening as we've been traveling in the West, realizing that where the enemy's tried to lull us, actually, when we're in the presence of God, he's actually awakening us, that there's more. So we've been noticing that actually, when I look at our generation right now, even as we've been traveling, people are searching for not just a good life, but actually for more.
Yeah.
Like, is there more out there? Actually, yeah, there is God, but also there is more. There's a good call upon each life. And just been finding in that place of hunger and desperation, God has been meeting people.
Yeah.
Even in my own life.
Yeah.
The more that I've been seeking Jesus in the secret place, I can't describe this awakening's been happening in my own life. A newfound desperation.
Yeah. It's like a lifting of eyes. It's like a renewed vision.
Absolutely.
Can totally agree and attest to like what we've experienced as a church, what I've experienced in my own life. From like a place of humility, it's going like, there's just so much more.
Yes.
And what that looks like is when we read the Bible, when we read David, when we read the New Testament, it's just, I don't know about you, but when I read it, I'm just like, man, they are contending for something so much more than just better church services.
Yes.
Like, and I love good church services. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's so important. Like, worship's important, message is important. But like, what they are calling out to God upon is not like, hey, just make our church services better by like 10%.
Yeah.
Like that's not what they're contending for. They're contending for the glory of the Lord. And I feel like as leaders, and I can speak from experience in my own life, it's like you can get caught in this trap where it's like, man, you're just going from A to B. You're just kind of living year to year.
Yeah.
It can be so easy to fall into that lullaby of like, I'm
absolutely.
just trying to tweak things as I go.
Yeah.
Now I'm for tweaking, I'm for improvement. But I just think the scriptures and this whole conversation of revival invites us to ask like, what is my vision? What is the vision the Bible gives us for the Lord coming near? I love the way it says in Psalm 85, surely his salvation is
so good.
near to those who fear him, that his glory may dwell in our land. And I just think that's completely different. It's
Powerful.
like, man, I'm not just contending that Vision Church gets better. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm contending that the glory of the Lord would dwell in Palmerston North.
Yes.
Or I'm contending
Yes.
that the glory of the Lord would dwell in New Zealand
Yes.
in a greater way. That the glory of the Lord would dwell in Perth. It just changes everything. It changes how you
Absolutely.
lead. It changes how you serve. And yeah, I don't know, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like for my own life, what started in the secret place with just myself and the Lord, as I've stayed in that place of contending of God, I'm going after you.
Yeah.
Something's happened. It's like I can't contain it in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have to get outside. I have to tell
Yeah.
people. And I believe that's what we're in as people are starting to realize actually Jesus is all that he says he is, and we're contending for him,
Yeah.
his presence. He's what I'm after.
He's
but
the
a
prize.
byproduct,
Yeah.
the byproduct of intimacy with him, it steps me into action. I can't help it. I feel crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
I might just be going to Kmart.
Yeah.
I might just be going to Woolworths. But because I'm in this place of intimacy with him, I'm seeing him, I'm experiencing his presence, his nearness, his closeness, the overflow, the byproduct is other people coming to know him.
Do you think COVID was an invitation to like reset our goalposts?
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. I feel very strongly God actually used it to humble the church, to get back to the first love fire, to come back to first place. Even in Revelation 2, you see that there is a kind rebuke. It says, hey, to the Ephesian church, you've been doing this, this, and this. But hey, come back to first love.
Yeah.
Come back to that place. I've seen all your good works. I've seen everything you're doing. I've seen the good ministry. I'm seeing the good services. Hey, but have you lost your first love? Have you lost that place?
Yeah.
And so I think COVID in many ways was that of turning back
Yeah.
our eyes to the first place,
Yeah.
and that's Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if, humility is what precedes awakening.
Absolutely.
If we're willing to, 2 Chronicles 7. It's classic.
Literally,
Like if my people.
yeah.
And I think the scripture is true, like God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble.
Yeah.
And I think some of the barriers I've seen in my own life and maybe in the lives of others is like that pride is such a barrier. And what I think you hit the nail on the head is like, do we really believe John 15 verse 4 that we can do nothing apart from him? Because, hey, like we're pretty gifted. Like
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty impressive churches that can be built
Me
off
too.
man's skill and stuff.
Yeah.
But there seems to be something fresh that's happening right now.
Absolutely.
But it feels like humility is always what precedes
Correct.
awakening.
Correct.
How do we sustain, like if people listening right now are like, yeah, that's me. Like I'm experiencing
Yeah.
that. How do you live a life of sustained revival?
I think you hit it. I think it's humility. And what I mean by that is humility then also leads me to action. So a humble posture is like, actually, I'm making a non-negotiable to get away with Christ,
Yeah.
to get away with God.
So good.
I'll use an example. When I was 19, I had a word given to me that I'd go to college campuses. So literally the very thing I'm doing right now. This lady came to me at a church service and was like, Madison, I see this over your life. And she went through this list. And not just college campuses. She's given me other things that she thought the Lord was speaking over my life. And I haven't yet stepped into them, but maybe I will. But she was definitely right on the college campus one.
Yeah, for sure.
So at 19, I get this word. The very end part of the whole entire word is, but stay in the ways of humility.
Wow.
Stay in the ways of humility. And I cannot describe how that has plumb-lined me, that has kept me on course and always checking my heart. Hey, God, right now, I'm seeing hundreds saved. Thousands come to know Jesus as a movement. We've seen over 23,000 college students, young adults, come to know Jesus in the last 10 years.
Wow.
That's wild.
That's insane.
Wild. But in saying that, if I don't stay in that place of humility and giving all the glory back to God, staying in that place of actually humility is going away with him and being like, Jesus, you get all the glory. Oh, fill me afresh. This was all for you. Because otherwise, a little pride can get in. Oh, Mads, you're doing well. Look how many tours you've run. I've just finished doing 10 tours for over the last 8 years, and I've seen crazy stuff like I was already saying.
Yeah.
So I could easily be like, well, that was because I have a good gift, or that was this or that. Actually,
Wow.
it's all Jesus. And so
Wow.
my thing recently has been coming back to that word, to stay in the ways of humility.
Because the temptation is when things aren't going at the speed or significance that maybe we'd desire,
True.
to maybe try and make things happen ourselves.
Yes.
Would
Yes.
you agree? Like,
Absolutely.
Did you see that across
Absolutely.
leadership landscape?
But I think that's a performance mindset and stepping in. The Bible's even clear. He loves to see the small beginnings begin. So I think our timeline in the Lord's is very different.
Yeah.
If I can be very transparent, there's a lot of things that I thought I would have done already in my life by now. Hasn't happened yet. And God's been teaching me and pruning things, like it talks about in John.
Yeah.
Pruning things, taking things away,
Yeah.
actually keeping me plumb line, but to his timeline. And so I feel like because he's kind,
Yeah.
he has a different timeline to us. And so the invitation for us, especially as young people leading, is actually, are we staying with the timeline of Christ, or are we trying to make something happen in our own effort? If we do, we'll never be able to sustain it.
Yeah.
I'd rather go slow and let the Lord sustain it than go fast and it all crumble. Like the sand in the hands that you're talking
Yeah.
about before. We were talking earlier about a revivalist.
Yeah.
I want to be tied to Christ. I
Yeah.
want to be tied to his timeline.
Come on. I reckon something that the Lord's putting his finger on right now, and it's crazy. Like, it's funny how, like, sometimes you'll preach a message and then you'll, like, you'll just look across Instagram or whatever, like the days following or the week following, and it's like 6 or 7 other churches talking about the same thing on the same day. And it's just like, what the heck?
What is happening? Yeah.
And it's not even like, a giving series or whatever. It's like something else.
Yeah.
But I reckon, like, in Circuit Riders, you guys have language around unoffendable hearts. I just wonder if something the Lord is touching on in this season is bitterness and offense.
Yeah.
Because he's getting us ready to be able to receive
So good.
what he wants to do. Can you talk about that? Maybe how you've dealt with that in your own life?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like at the moment God is hitting a lot of things that we haven't wanted to talk about for a long time, and one of them is offense. And so even before we had an awesome moment with some of your leaders, shout out you guys, you're amazing, talking about what it looks like to lead a ministry but also be hurt, or to have an unoffendable heart when really you want to stay in offense.
Yeah.
So I feel like in this season specifically, even for me, the more that I'm leading, I'd be very transparent and using the authenticity right now to say that actually a lot of people can hurt you. You can have a lot of offense as you're walking through ministry.
Yeah.
But something I've always come back to is Jesus. How did you model this when you were hurt? How did you model this when people betrayed you? How did you model this?
He didn't start an Instagram account.
He did not. He did not vent his opinion on
Didn't start a
Facebook.
YouTube channel.
He didn't. Actually, the Bible says that he was led away like a lamb to the slaughter.
Wow.
And he said nothing.
Yeah.
The insults, the persecution. So I'm human. It hurts sometimes. There's things I need to work through. People rub me the wrong way sometimes.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, if I'm not going back to the secret place and letting the affirmation from Christ tell me, hey, you did a great job.
Yeah.
Hey, that person who hurt you, it's all good. Like, keep your heart pure.
Yeah.
And then obviously we have scriptures that talk about if we do need to talk to someone, to go have a good, healthy conversation with them.
Facts.
I think for me, I've realized the more that I can have a good, healthy conversation with
Yeah.
somebody, actually offense then has no chance to have a place, because I actually am having a transparent conversation with, like, hey, that actually hurt me, but you might not have even meant it. And then unity's brought back.
Facts. A guy that's kind of, or a leader I really respect, who's kind of like discipled me in prayer and mentored me in this area, has said, like, twice a week he will pray a prayer of forgiveness, and he'll just ask the Holy Spirit to go, hey, highlight anywhere in my heart if there's anyone I'm holding unresolved bitterness towards.
So
and people will just pop in his mind. He didn't even register. He's like, oh,
true.
wow. He'll write their name out. He'll pray a prayer of blessing over them, as you talk about, and then he'll just cross them off the list. And he said to me, he's like, Junior, 80% of the time, I don't even need to go to that person. It's about going to the Lord.
Totally.
And it's like, he's like, I'm not against conversations of, being reconciled towards people, but like most of the time, I can resolve that with God. Now, of course, there's moments where I'm like, hey, but I just think taking responsibility, like I love what the psalmist says, search me, know me, lead me in your way everlasting. And we're talking about sustained revival here. Revival is big moments. It can be an outpouring, and it is an outpouring. We see that across history. But I think if we're going to see sustainability, we can't be in the ways of the world, which is that my emotions are me. I'm a victim to my emotions. But it's taking responsibility for our inner man and our inner woman.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that and maybe just charge us on that? Because, I mean, I know the same for you. Like, my heart is to see the next generation go further
Absolutely.
and higher than we ever have before.
Yes, definitely.
We've got to draw a line and go, I'm not going to live a life of victimhood. Although there might have been some trauma and tragedy.
Totally.
And we're not here to like suppress that and dismiss that.
Totally.
But it's taking responsibility and going, Lord, your word has to govern my heart and mind.
Absolutely.
If I'm going to live a life of sustained revival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I feel I've made it very non-negotiable in my life that the word is a thing that I actually plumb line my life on. And so I can feel things, 100%.
Yeah,
that's valid.
course.
We're all human. We all
Totally.
have things, situations that happen. But actually, are my feelings, am I letting my feelings vote?
Wow.
Am I letting them have a say or a trump over what God's word says?
Wow.
Actually, I think it comes back to our identity piece. Sometimes we just need to go away and refresh ourselves in our identity in Christ.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, people are people. They are going to hurt us. But I heard it once said, such a good analogy, is like forgiveness is like having a shower. You need to do it every day.
Wow.
So I think
That's great.
part of revival is saying, God, would you revive us?
Yes.
But really, should I be tied to your word and let that opinion speak higher than my feelings that want to vote all the time?
Wow. So good. As we look to land the plane, if you're talking to 22-year-old Madison
Wow.
or 22-year-old Nick Both, who is your brother, who
Shout
everyone
out,
loves,
bro. Yeah.
guy or girl,
Yeah.
gender irrelevant, just the age, a 22-year-old
Yeah.
leader, what are you saying to them?
Might sound very simple, but that's what I love it. Run to the secret place.
Come on.
You need Jesus. You need him not just on a Sunday. I love church. I love Sundays. I love being in a corporate moment with my family on a Sunday. But for sustained revival, I can't rely on the Sunday service to get me through.
Wow.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way through, I need Jesus. And so I've made a non-negotiable. And I'd tell that 22-year-old girl who was trying to probably climb the ladder in ministry. Actually, hey girl, just get in the secret place. God's the one that will promote. God's the one that will work things all out for his good. But stay in that place of the secret place. Stay in intimacy with him and let him lead. And so that's what I'd say to her or to my brother as a 22-year-old for sustained revival.
So good. Madison Both, we are so grateful for you. Thank you for coming to
fun.
New Zealand.
Love you guys.
It is always a pleasure, never a chore. Loves the long black with almond milk.
Come on, or a magic.
Or a magic.
If we're going to talk about it.
There it is. We appreciate you, grateful for you.
Thank you.
And all the best for the future. God bless.
Amen.
Love you guys. Peace.